see in this slide, the person or all persons in a society has capability to do work. The person feels himself efficient to take decisions and work accordingly. The person remains in sound mental condition and free from any disease, does not suffer from any mental tension. For this good health, he or she needs proper nutrition, exercise and rest, good habits and hygiene. Well-being is a feeling of satisfaction of life, a state characterized by health, happening and prosperity. SDG 3 aspires to ensure health and well-being for all, including a broad commitment to end the epidemics of AIDS, tuberculosis, malaria, and other communicable diseases by 2030. Promoting health and well-being is one of the 17 Sustainable Development Goals that make up the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. These are the picture of 17 SDG goals. The Sustainable Development Goals or SDGs or global goals are a collection of 17 interlinked global goals designed to be a blueprint to achieve a better and more sustainable future for all. The SDGs were set in 2015 by United Nations General Assembly and are intended to be achieved by the year 2030. They are included in a United Nations resolution called the 2030 Agenda, or what is known as Agenda 2030. The 17 SDGs are no poverty, zero hunger, good health and well-being, quality education, gender equality, clean water and sanitation, affordable and clean energy, decent work and economic growth, industry, innovation, infrastructure, reducing inequality, sustainable cities and communities, responsible consumption and production, climate action, life below water, life on land, peace, justice, and strong institutions. And the last, SDG 17, is how to achieve these goals, which includes partnerships for the goals. For achieving SDG 3, we have to maintain some good habits, physical activity, and other practices like yoga, meditation, etc. You can see the ideal food pyramid in this picture. We should eat a variety of vegetables, especially dark green, red, and orange vegetables and fruits. We should eat whole grain, high fiber breads and cereals. We should reduce or eliminate refined or processed carbohydrates, junk foods. Most of the grains in our diet should be whole grains. We have to drink plenty of water in a day, 6 to 8 glasses of water per day. We have to drink low fat or fat-free milk and eat low-fat dairy products. We have to choose from a variety of low-fat sources of protein, including eggs, beans, poultry, without skin seafood, lean meats, unsalted nuts, seeds, soybean products. If we eat meat, we have to eat white meat at least 4 times more often than red meat. We have to reduce intake of saturated fats, oils as much as possible. We should use vegetable oils like olive oils, canola oils instead of solid fats. The reduction of daily intake of sodium or salt, if it is less than 1,500 milligram per day, if you are older than 50 or have hypertension, diabetes, or chronic kidney diseases. We should avoid junk food that contain refined white flour, solid fats, added sugar, and high sodium. We should restrict ourselves to eliminate sodas and other sugar-added drinks that are high in calories and contain few or no nutrients at all. We should avoid alcoholic drinks and beverages. Now I am coming to the concept of well-being. Well-being for life is feeling comfortable, healthy, and happy. This is not only physically but mentally too. There are many activities that we can do to improve our physical and mental well-being. Being active is not just for physical health and fitness, but it is great for our mental health too. We can spare some time for indoor games, drawing, dance, yoga, music, watching good videos, movies to great fun in our daily routine work. We can involve our family members too. And of course, it is possible to venture outdoors, walking, playing, etc. The United Nations level of well-being are guided by some few factors like education, occupation and working condition, housing, food consumption, recreation, leisure, health, proper clothing, social security, and human rights. We, the teachers, sometimes organize mindful club where students can come along and spend some quiet time by coloring pictures, listening music, making poster to display on the well-being board. Mindful meditation, mindful coloring, etc. train our mind in mindfulness club or online mindfulness resources. These are the targets of SDG 3. Each goal of sustainable development typically has 8 to 12 targets. And each target has between 1 to 4 indicators used to measure progress towards reaching the targets. The targets are either outcome targets, circumstances to be attained, or means of implementation targets. The latter targets were introduced late in the process of negotiating the SDGs to address the concern of some member states about how the SDGs were to be achieved. Goal 17 is wholly about how the SDG will be achieved. The targets of SDG 3 cover and focus on various aspects of healthy life and healthy lifestyle. Progress towards the targets is measured using 21 indicators. Total SDG 3 has 13 targets and 28 indicators to measure progress towards targets. The first 9 targets are outcome targets. Those are 3.1, reduction in maternal mortality, 3.2, ending all preventable deaths under 5.
We are so sorry for that. I'm muting him now.
Shall I continue? Any problem?
No, no problem. You can continue. I'm putting on mute now.
Okay.
Sorry.
The target SDG 3 cover and focus on various aspects of healthy life and healthy lifestyle. Progress towards the targets is
Okay, can continue.
Oh.
Sorry for that.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I'm starting. SDG 3 has 13 targets and 28 indicators to measure progress towards the targets. The first 9 targets are outcome targets. These are target 3.1 or reduction of maternal mortality, target 3.2 ending all preventable deaths under 5 years of age, target 3.3 fighting communicable diseases, 4 reduction of mortality from non-communicable diseases and promote mental health, target 3.5 prevent and treat substance abuse, 3.6 reduce road injuries and deaths, 3.7 universal access to sexual and reproductive care, family planning and education, target 3.8 achieve universal health coverage, target 3.9 reduction of illness and deaths from hazardous chemical and pollutions. The 4 means to achieving SDG 3 targets are 3.A implementation of the WHO framework convention on tobacco control, 3.B support research development and universal access to affordable medicine and vaccines, target 3.C increasing health financing and support health workforce in developing countries, target 3.D improving early warning systems for global health risks. Now I am coming each and every target one by one. Target 3.1 or reduce maternal mortality. This aims to achieve universal health coverage that seeks equitable access of healthcare services to all men and women. It proposes to end the preventable death of newborns, infants, and children under 5, which indicates low child mortality and end epidemics. Target 3.1 or reduce maternal mortality, which the objective of which is to strengthen the status of women and girls. Lack of decision-making powers, knowledge and financial remain underlying causes for the inability or delay in seeking health care, which end up increasing maternal mortality rate. Target 3.1 is by 2030, reduce the global maternal mortality ratio to less than 70 per 1 lakh live births. Indicator these 3.1 reduction of maternal mortality has 2 indicators, 3.11 and 3.12. 3.11, we should know the maternal mortality ratio, which refers to the number of women who die from pregnancy-related causes while pregnant or within 42 days of pregnancy termination per 1,000 live births, 1 lakh live births. And indicator 2 indicates the percentage of births attended by the personnel trained to give the necessary supervision, care, and device to women during pregnancy, labor, and the postpartum period to conduct deliveries on their own and to care for the newborns. Target 3.1 aims to reduce maternal mortality to less than 70 deaths per 1 lakh live births and the maternal mortality ratio declined by 37% between 2000 and 2015. In 2015, maternal health condition was also leading cause of the death of girls aged between 15 to 19. Data for girls of greatest concern, because in each and every country we don't get actual data. Those aged between 10 and 14 years is currently available for many countries. Key strategies for meeting the SDG goals. 3 will be to reduce the adolescent pregnancy, which is strongly linked to gender equality, provide better data for all women and girls to achieve universal coverage of skilled birth attendance. Target 3.2, which aims at all preventable deaths under 5 years of age. By 2030, end preventable deaths of newborn and children under 5 years of age, which all countries are aiming to reduce neonatal mortality to at least as low as 12 per 1000 live births, and under 5 mortality to at least low 25 per 1000 live births. This 3.2 target has two indicators, 3.2.1 and 3.2.2. In one, we get under 5 mortality rate. The under 5 mortality rate measures the number of children per 1000 live births who die before their 5th birthday. And 2, neonatal mortality rate, which is defined as the share of the newborns per 1000 live births in a given year who die before reaching 28 days of their age. Globally, the risk for children dying before age 5 was reduced by 44% since 2000, reaching 43 deaths per 1000 live births in 2015. Still, a large number of preventable deaths remain, with about 16,000 children under the age of 5 dying every day in 2015. The COVID-19 pandemic in 2020 results in fewer women and their babies having access to life-saving care. This is because many healthcare facilities are even more short-staffed and under-equipped than usual. This can negatively impact the under 5 mortality rate as well as neonatal mortality rate. Now I am coming to target 3.3, that is fighting communicable diseases. This target has 5 indicators. Number 1, number of new HIV infections per 1000 uninfected population. 2, tuberculosis plus per 1 lakh population. 3, malaria incidence per 1000 population. 4, hepatitis B incidence per 1 lakh population. 5, number of people requiring intervention against neglected tropical diseases. And target 3.4, which indicates reduced mortality from non-communicable diseases and promote mental health, has 2 indicators. 1, mortality rate attributed to cardiovascular diseases, cancer, diabetes, or chronic respiratory diseases. And indicator 3.4.2, suicide mortality case. Target 3.3 proposes to end the preventable death of newborns and children under 5 and to end epidemics such as AIDS, tuberculosis, malaria, waterborne diseases, etc. Progress of children under 5 and 3 out of 4 will not meet the targets to end AIDS among adolescents. Similarly, the progress has been made on increasing access to clean water and sanitation and reducing malaria, tuberculosis, polio, and the spread of HIV or AIDS. From 2000 to 2016, new HIV infections declined by 66% for children under 15 and 45% among adolescents aged 15 to 19. But the current trends mean 1 out of 4 countries still are not able to meet the SDG targets to end AIDS among children under 5, and 3 out of 4 will not meet the target to end AIDS among adolescents. In 2015, there were an estimated 10.4 million new tuberculosis cases, corresponding to 142 cases per 1 lakh population. The malaria incidence rate was 91 per 1,000 persons at risk, representing a 41% decrease of globally between, while deaths attributed to hepatitis are estimated to be around 1.3 million. With regards to the HIV infections, people living with HIV are at increased risk of death due to COVID-19 spread in 2020. Also, disruption to health services can result in people not getting proper treatment, therapy, which would result more deaths. Target 3.4, which indicates reduced mortality from non-communicable diseases and promote mental health. The full text for this target given by the United Nations is by 2030, we should reduce 1/3 premature mortality from non-communicable diseases through prevention and treatment and promote mental health and well-being. Deaths caused by the 4 main diseases were 17.7 million from cardiovascular diseases, 8.8 million from cancers, 3.9 million from chronic respiratory diseases, and 1.6 million from diabetes. The risk of dying from the 4 main diseases between ages 30 and 70 decreased from 23% in 2000 to 19% in 2015. These are the target 3.5 and 3.6. Target 3.5 shows the prevention and treat substance abuse.
If you finish, then once you go to the
We are sorry for that. Mohammed Kamara, please mute your mic and close your video. Please continue.
Target 3.5 and 3.6 are shown in this slide. Target 3.5 indicates prevention and treatment of substance abuse, which has 2 indicators. We should strengthen the prevention and treatment of substance abuse, including narcotic drug abuse and harmful use of alcohol. This target has 2 indicators. 1, coverage of treatment interventions like pharmacological, psychological, rehabilitation, and aftercare services for substance use disorders. And 2, harmful use of alcohol, defined according to the national context as alcohol per capita consumption, aged 15 years and older within a calendar year in liters of pure alcohol. In 2016, worldwide consumption of alcohol was projected to be 6.4 liters per person aged 15 and older. Consumption is increasing in the Western Pacific and Southeast Asian regions, while remaining relatively stable in other regions. The available data is inadequate and much further work is needed to improve to measure the treatment coverage for alcohol and drug use disorders. Target 3.6, which indicates the reduction of road injuries and deaths, which has only one indicator, which is the death rate due to road traffic injuries. The need for improvement in safer infrastructure and government regulation continues to improve the road safety conditions. In countries with great success, such as Sweden, that boasts a 66% reduction in injury and deaths from 1990 to 2015 by government regulation. The Decade of Action for Road Safety 2011 to 2020 declared in March 2010 by United Nations General Assembly that the third global ministerial conference on road safety was held in Stockholm, Sweden, and the outcome of the conference was to set a global target for reducing road traffic deaths and injuries by 50% by 2030. In August 2020, the United Nations ratified the Stockholm Declaration declaring 2021 to 2030 the second decade of action for road safety. Now I am coming to the target 3.7, which shows universal access to sexual and reproductive care, family planning, and education. By 2030, we should ensure the universal access to sexual and reproductive healthcare services, including for family planning, information, and education. And the integration of reproductive health into national strategies and programs. Target 3.7 has two indicators. Indicator 1, which indicates percentage of married women ages 15 to 49 years whose need for family planning is satisfied with modern methods, and 2, adolescents birth rate aged 10 to 14 years aged 15 to 19 years per 1,000 women in that age group. Half of the women in developing countries have received the health care they need, and the need for family planning is increasing exponentially as the population grows. While needs are being addressed gradually, more than 225 million women have an unmet need. They have no say to explain their needs. In 2017, an estimated 13 million births will be to girls under age 20, with almost 1.8 billion adolescents and youth globally. Investing in their health and well-being is essential to achieve the 2030 agenda. Target 3.8 shows the indications to achieve the universal health coverage. This target has two indicators. Target 3.8.1, which shows the coverage of essential health services, and 2, proportion of population with large household expenditures on health as a share of total through the lens of leaving no one behind, universal health coverage or UHC includes migrants and refugees, many of whom may not have legal status or are uncounted in financial risk protection schemes and access to equitable health services. Primary health care or PHC is the most important pathway to achieve universal health coverage. This is because it can address more than 80% of a person's health needs and is accessible and affordable. In 2020, the COVID-19 pandemic resulted in a reduction in the Universal Health Coverage Effective Index, which is an index which assesses whether people in a country have access to essential health services. Target 3.9, which is the last target to reduce illness and deaths from hazardous chemical and pollutions. Mortality rate is attributed to the household indicators like ambient air condition, air pollution, mortality rate attributed to unsafe water, sanitation, lack of proper health and hygienic condition. 3. Mortality rate attributed to unintentional poisoning, household air pollution due to lack of ventilation, smoking, lack of kitchen in each and every household is estimated to cause half of all pneumonia deaths among children under age 5. Target 3.9 is by 2030, substantially we should reduce the number of deaths and illness from hazardous chemical and air, water, soil pollution and contamination. Household air pollution is estimated to all respiratory diseases among children, and between the years 2000 and 2015, it caused 108,000 deaths. This slide shows the relation between air quality and good health well-being. Air pollution is a problem and it is an environmental health hazard. We know what we are looking at when brown haze or smoke settle over a city, urban area, exhaust billows across busy highway, or a plume rises from a smokestack. Some air pollution is not seen, but bad smell alert us. When the National Ambient Air Quality Standards were established in 1970, air pollution was regarded primarily as a threat to respiratory diseases. Over the next decades, as air pollution research advanced, public health concern broadened to include cardiovascular diseases, diabetes, obesity, neurological and immune system disorders, which are all related to air pollution. Air pollution exposure is associated with oxidative stress and inflammation in human cells, which may lay a foundation for chronic diseases and even cancer. In 2013, the International Agency for Research on Cancer of the World Health Organization, or WHO, classified air pollution as a human carcinogen. So in this picture, in the upper left corner, we can see the picture of Delhi. It is not a natural haze. It is urban smoke. And the air quality index of Delhi, Kolkata, and many Southeast Asian cities or mega cities is moderate to very bad. The condition is very poor during winter months from January to September. The air quality, which drastically deteriorates to very poor, 301 to 400, severe, more than 400, or hazardous, more than 500, which shows the bad air quality index levels during October to December due to various factors, including road dust, vehicle pollution, cold weather, and unscientific treatment of our dry crops. Since the early 20th century, Earth's mean surface temperature has increased about 0.85 degrees centigrade or 1.4 degree Fahrenheit, with about 2/3 of the increase occurring since 1980. Developing countries and small island nations will be the first and hardest hit by this phenomena of climate change. Each year, about 8 lakh people die from different bad effects of climate change. 1.8 billion die from diarrhea due to lack of access of clean water supply and sanitation, poor hygiene. 3.5 million people die from malnutrition, and 60,000 people die from natural disasters. Global sea level has been rising at an alarming rate of 1.8 millimeter per year during 1961 to 2003. The rate has been increased during 1993 and 2003. But this alarming rate of sea level rise caused flooding of low-level islands and coastal areas and created many waterborne health diseases. Now I am coming to the last 4 targets of SDG 3. SDG 3.A, which indicates implementation of the World Health Organization Framework Convention on Tobacco Control. We should strengthen the implementation of the World Health Organization Framework Convention on Tobacco Control in all countries as early as possible. Target 3.A has only one indicator, that is age standardized prevalence of current tobacco use among persons aged 15 years and older. The WHO Framework Convention on Tobacco Control has been ratified by 180 parties representing 90% of the global population. More than 80% of parties have either adopted new or strengthened their existing tobacco control laws and regulations for better future. In 2019, the global average value for the age standardized smoking prevalence among age 15 and older was 17%. down from nearly 25% in 1990, which is a positive development. And if we try our best, we can improve further. The COVID-19 pandemic might accelerate this trend because people might stop buying tobacco if their income drops. But this is a temporary case. People have learned that smokers are more likely to get seriously ill or die from COVID-19, which might cause them to smoke less. Target 3.B, which supports research, development, and universal access to affordable vaccines and medicines. Target 3.B, to support the research and development, provides access to affordable essential medicine vaccines in accordance with the Doha Declaration on the TRIPS Agreement and Public Health, which affirms the right of developing countries to use the full provision in the agreement on trade-related aspects of intellectual property rights regarding flexibilities to protect public health and in particular provide access to medicines for all. Indicator 3.B.1, 2, and 3. These are the three indicators of target 3B. The current landscape of the health research and development is insufficiently aligned with global health demands and needs. As little as 1% of all funding for health research and development is allocated to diseases that are predominantly incident in developing countries. SDG 3, to achieve universal health coverage, including access to essential medicine and vaccines, around 2 in 5 countries need to accelerate progress in order to support research development and reach SDG targets for immunization, which average an estimated 2.2 to 3 million deaths every year. Due to the COVID-19 pandemic in 2020, the gradual progress made in the past years with immunization faced a huge decline. With highly contagious diseases like measles, the affected countries have implemented measures to respond for children and women, but the measures are not sufficient. Some of the affected countries have already implemented measures by health campaigns for vaccines, medicines, bed nets, etc. But communities can receive several services at all the same time instead of one by one. This can increase coverage while minimizing exposure during the pandemic. Another solution to reach the target during COVID-19 vaccination opportunities to people who are often undeserved by community vaccination programs. For example, we cannot reach all people. Experts have called for people in prisons to be prioritized for the national COVID-19 vaccination strategy, given their risk profile of underlying chronic conditions, age, and living environment. Target 3.C, which indicates the increase of health financing and support health workforce in developing countries, which has only one indicator, health worker density and distribution. The COVID-19 pandemic in 2020 has reminded all of us about the vital role of health workers play to relieve the suffering and slave lives. No country, hospital or clinic can keep its patients safe unless it has sufficient health workers. And target 3.D to improve early warning system for global health risks, which has two indicators. International health regulations or IHR, capacity and health emergency, and indicator 3.D.2, percentage of bloodstream infections due to selected antimicrobial resistant organisms. In 2020, IHR review process acknowledged the need to include migration and mobile population in epidemic and pandemic preparedness and response plans. Pandemic preparedness and global health security require across the broad upskilling of IHR implementation. This slide shows the relationship between proper treatment of our waste products, that may be solid, liquid, or gaseous waste or medical waste, and our health. With increase of the global population and the rising demand of food and other essentials, there has been a rise in the amount of waste being generated daily by each household. The waste is ultimately thrown into our surroundings. Municipal waste collection centers, from where it is collected by the municipalities or local administration, to be further thrown into our landfills or dumps. But due to resource crunch or inefficient infrastructure, not all of this waste get collected and transported to the final dump sites. If at this stage the management and disposal is improperly done, it can cause serious impacts on health and problems to the surrounding environment. Like in the upper left corner of the slide, we can show if we separate the waste at the source point, like in this slide, metal waste, paper waste, glass, plastic, organic, batteries, light bulbs, electronic waste, then the management of the waste products would be easier. One of the outcomes of the overflowing garbage is air pollution, which causes various respiratory diseases and other adverse health effects, such as contaminants are absorbed from the lungs into other parts of the body. The toxic substances in air contaminated by waste include carbon dioxide, nitrous oxide, and methane. Medical waste in our hospitals and nursing homes can be hazardous. People can be injured or infected. Proper handling and disposal for healthcare necessary. Waste management practices need to be appropriate for the level of care. Waste that is not properly managed, especially liquid and solid waste from households and community, are serious health hazards and can spread infectious diseases. This leads to unhygienic conditions and thereby to a rise in the health problems. The plague outbreak or COVID-19 outbreak is a good example of a city suffering due to the casual attitude of local body in maintaining the cleanliness of city or urban area. Plastic waste is another cause for ill health. If we taste fishes, meats that we eat, even the plant tissues, we can find very minute particles of plastics in the plants and animals we eat, because it is biodegradable, non-biodegradable, and each and every plastics which was produced in the past years is in our environment. Thus, excessive solid waste that is generated should be controlled by taking certain preventive measures. Now, I am going to importance of SDG 3. SDG 3 aspires to ensure health and well-being for all, including a bold commitment to end the epidemics of AIDS, tuberculosis, malaria, and other communicable diseases by 2030. It also aims to achieve universal health coverage and provide access to safe and effective medicines and vaccines for all. SDG 3 has links with other SDGs. SDG 3 is interwoven throughout the 17 SDGs of 2030 agenda, with its targets directly linking to the targets in other goals, like SDG 2, which indicates end of all forms of malnutrition. SDG 4, free, equitable, and good quality secondary education, good quality early childhood development, knowledge and skills for sustainable development. SDG 5, which indicates elimination of all forms of violence against women, girls in the public and private spheres, elimination of harmful practices including female genital, multinational, and universal access to sexual and reproductive health rights. SDG 6, access to drinking water, and 6.2, access for sanitation for all. SDG 7.1, access to modern energy services. SDG 9.5, enhance scientific research for research and development workers. SDG 11, air quality and municipal waste. 13.1, resilience to natural disasters. 16.1, reduction of violence and related death rates. All are related to SDG 3. To implement these indicators for SDG 3, people of many countries face some challenges. The COVID-19 pandemic in 2020 is a serious threat to the progress of SDG 3, aimed to ensure healthy lives and well-being for all. As the pandemic spread worldwide, the lockdown had over 70 countries, putting a hold on various health services such as child vaccination, family planning, cancer screening, etc. Hundreds of thousands more under 5 fatalities should be expected in 2020-2021. The pandemic has also led to the overloading and overcrowding of health service centers, and many people have become afraid of visiting these centers for fear of being infected. Most non-COVID-19 diseases have been either neglected or interrupted, and healthcare systems are in turn stretched beyond their capacity and capabilities to provide adequate care. This is a great reverse in decades for improvement and has reduced the need and caused alarming for the government to prioritize the issues of healthy living and well-being and work towards the goal for SDG 3. The many governments of many countries who already suffer from health worker shortage and other healthcare systems should take knowledge or lessons learned during this crisis period and build up resilience to combat future health pandemics and achieve progress towards universal health coverage. Thank you. I am now sharing some questionnaire survey in the chat box.
Thank you very much. That was very, very educative. I guess we all learn a lot. Even me, I learn a lot from you. Thank you very much. This training is a prerequisite to a project development training that we have in Liberia. They develop a project based on the targets, the indicators of the SDG 3. They will develop a community project and we will undertake the project back home in Liberia. So it was very much educative. Like you elaborated on the indicators, the importance of the SDG 3. It was very much good. Thank you very much. So let's go to the chat box and answer some of these questions. After that, you can, if you have questions for Dr. Adia, you can give your question to her. So I guess the form is already there. You can just click on the form. The link to the form is already there. Just click on it. I'm also sharing in your WhatsApp group. If you can access the form in the chat box, you can check in the WhatsApp group. I'm sharing it there. It's so unfortunate that out of the 40 so many people, we only have 6 persons here. I guess because it's in the morning, most of them must be sleeping. They will watch it from Facebook or from YouTube. So as we answer the questions in the form, I think if you have any questions for the doctor, you can ask. At the same time, you're answering the quiz. Just kindly open your mic, ask your question, and then close your mic back, please.
Yes, I have typed 3 links which are all related to SDG 3, and you can share it freely with your friends or colleagues or students. That 3 Google Forms I have created for you, which are all related to SDG 3, like plastic pollution, climate change, planting of forest and trees, which are helpful to reach the targets of SDG 3. I have all typed the link in the chat box.
I'm sending the link in a WhatsApp group. Everyone, please start the field. At the same time, if you have questions, please open your mic and ask your question. Kaifa, do you have any question? Josie.
If you want, I can mail you the PPT presentation.
Yes, yes, we would like that.
Yes, yes, I can mail you the PPT presentation, and I need a letter from your letterhead to submit in our office that I have presented a lecture for the here SDG 3. If you can give me, it will be helpful for me.
Yeah, we will send that, and we'll also send you a certificate.
Okay,
So I
okay,
don't know
thank
which
you.
one you prefer, the letter or the certificate.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. I will send the PowerPoint presentation I have shown you.
Okay, thank you very much. So guys, do you have any question? Ibrahim, Makisa. This is your opportunity to ask questions. There are questions, it means you understood almost everything. So that's good. That's good news. Okay, then please try to fill the forms. There are 3 different forms. Try to fill them up, please. Meantime, can you please open your cameras? We want to take photo. Makisa, Kaifat, Ibrahim. If you have questions, give your questions. In the meantime, please open your cameras. All right, Bashir has finally joined us. Bashir, we are sorry for the technical problem. The tuning just finished. But nevertheless, we still have another one on the 14th. So you will attend that. There's a form in the group. Everyone, please try to fill that form. We beg you, please. And if you have questions, you can ask a question. If we don't have questions, then I think we can end the meeting. Okay, let's take comments for at least from 2 persons. Let's take comments.
Thank you once again for inviting me to this beautiful program. I have your mail address and I can send you invitation for our future program. We organize monthly programs on SDG goals in Ambassador of Sustainability Telegram group, and we have our Facebook group, and I have your mail ID. I can send invitation for our future program.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
I am in the group too. So
have a nice day.
You too. Thank you very much. Thank you so much for your presentation.
Thank you.
All right. So if there are no questions, that's it. Thank to every one of you for attending. Thanks to Dr. Adia for a brilliant presentation.
Yes, thank you.
All right, everyone. Today was a success, a bit of success, though it didn't go the way we wanted it, but thanks to every one of you for attending.